Hello, everyone. I'm Wes Hoffman. I'm a certified peer recovery specialist, and I'm currently working on my master's degree for Liberty University. And this is our second video discussion board. This week, our topic is on ethics and disciplinary actions. Uh, uh, One of the first question we had to work with was, what's some of the most common reasons for a board to discipline a counselor, and our personal reactions on that. Actually, I could not find any real up-to-date information. There was a survey done in 2001 by Newkrug, Milliken, and Walden, which I cited in the reference page following this. Uh, Again, it was done in 2001, and at the time, only 45 states had were set up for a licensing board. Four other states were still in development of that, and so only about 30 states actually contributed data. One of the main issues was dual relationships at 24%. Uh, was the main ethical violation. Dual relationships, of course, is say your counselor, working with a friend or a fellow student or a family member or what have you, can cause some conflict of interest there. As we saw in the video this week about the bartering situation, the lady wanted to, a counselor was working with a client that couldn't pay and wanted to do loan work for her. And you've seen how that turned out and all. It's not necessarily illegal, but it causes issues. So the second one was incompetence. It came in at 17%. That's why there's so many training videos, and we go through rigorous training even as case managers. You're required to have a bachelor's degree just to be a case manager. To be a certified peer recovery specialist, a lot of studying and clinical hours you got to put in before you can even take an exam to prove your confidence in it. Uh, the next one came in sexual relationships with clients, or actually, uh, yeah, sexual relationships came in about 8%. Big no-no. Never have sex with a client. So uh, goes without saying. It should anyway. Breach of confidentiality at 5%, and inappropriate fee assessments came in about 4%. Failure to obtain the consent form is about 1%, and failure to report abuse is 1%. Now again, this data was over 20 years old. I'm sure there's more and more counselors in the world, more facilities now, more grants, and so on and so forth. So, I'd be interested to see, more up-to-date study done. Uh, anyway, uh, there's always going to be, uh, I have to say, from a personal aspect, you always got to watch your back and set up boundaries with your clients. A lot of it's just logical, but again, uh, one good source of information I did find uh, was the ACA's Vistas Online. It has some good information about compassion fatigue and that kind of thing. That's a big liability for counselors and case managers. You run into it constantly. Uh, you know, we're human beings too, so it's hard to separate your personal life from your professional life. A lot of things can debilitate you, like drinking problems. I myself am a recovered addict and alcoholic. I've worked with clients that by the end of the day, I'm ready for a drink. But I still go to AA, and I have hobbies, and that's one thing they suggest is just take leisurely walks. I like model railroading. I play guitar, different things like that. Draw some. Uh, so anything to just free your mind and refresh yourself for the next day. Prayer, big thing. I constantly pray before I see any client. Lots of times words will come out of me that it's not me, that's God. So uh, that's usually the best practice. Always pray before you see a client. Take a few minutes and just meditate. Anyway, moving forward, I couldn't find any actual disciplinary cases. The Florida website, there's Florida Health. You have to put in a case number, and the counselor's name and all that to look up actual disciplinary actions that were taken against counselors. And I didn't have any of that to really pull up a particular case. But the main theme I see running through is mainly the dual relationships is a big cause of conflict of interest. And disciplinary actions can take different forms. I mean, your employer can just simply fire you. If you violate something. I've worked with therapists that have been dismissed for just simply not taking good notes or actually cheating on their mileage, different things like that. Lots of times when we're out in the field, actually going and meeting the clients where they are. And companies can be very scrutinizing. So it's again, always watch your back and feel free to utilize EAP programs. If you have a personal counselor, always just it's good to get help from different resources. I mean, and speaking with colleagues, I mean, a lot of companies you work for, there's certain violations that have came up, and so uh, your employee will discuss those with you. What's the most frequent violations and stuff? What can lead to disciplinary actions? And again, I mean, some things can be as serious that you can be sued. Uh, that's why I like working with addicts and alcoholics of adults age. Working with children, I love children, but the parents are the problem. In this day and age, everybody's too happy. And if you're working with people that are in poverty, and most of the companies that I've worked in, that working for, they run on grants. They're privately funded through donations, and you got to adhere to so many guidelines to stick within the guidelines of the grant. And that again, you always got somebody watching you. And make sure you don't say the wrong thing, or and again, in this day and age, people are easily offended, and you have to be very careful. And for me, I find that difficult because I just shoot from the cuff, and I have to watch what I say lots of times. Again, I like to keep things real and be realistic with people and be honest. And sometimes that can get you in trouble. So you have to again pray on before you see any clients, and always be abreast of the current trends, and the ethical, stay abreast on the your current state's code of ethics as well as the ACA. And most of the states do base on the ACA code of ethics. They may add a little difference to it. I did find, I live in an area where I'm right between Florida. Well, I live in Georgia and I work in Florida. My credentials are in Florida. Georgia has a whole different credentialing process. And I have to say, Georgia's website was much better than Florida's. They have a lot more information on there. They even post the ACA guidelines on there. But again, you just have to stay on top of all the changes, and uh, just watch your back and watch each other's back. I mean, it's usually and where I've worked, it's usually been a team. I work in what they call assertive community treatment, where it's not like outpatient. We actually work with clients that had to meet them at their home. Meet them where they're at, and that's challenging. It is, but I like that. I like working out in the field and being able to travel around instead of just sitting in an office. So, but anyway, I don't know if I've hit all the topics this week, but again, I couldn't find any actual cases and what disciplinary actions are taken. But most of the time, it's usually you just get fired. If you violate something, the company doesn't want to be held liable for your actions, and you usually sign waivers and so forth. But lots of times, as counselors, we can subcontract out, and we have to bill. We can bill Medicare or Medicaid. So I mean, we have to set up our own consent forms, and it's always good to consult with an attorney before you start your own private practice or what have you. So there's a lot of things to look out for, and I feel like each and every one of us we're in this mainly because we want to help others. That's the bottom line. But there's a lot of barriers, and when you're working for a company, there's uh, guidelines you have to follow, and it's easy to violate something. So it's good to stay informed. So anyway, uh, thank you, thank you guys, and God bless you, every one of you, for choosing the field that you have, and may the Lord continue to bless you in your studies.